Welcome to the Overheard podcast, recorded live in Banff. My name is Daniel Rudel. With me always, my co-host,
Matty Rage. Let's go.
What is up? Our guest this week, Travis Earlham. Earlham? Am I saying that correctly?
Yeah.
Earlham?
Nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice. I'm getting much better with names as we get through this on the pronunciation. If you don't know Travis, he's the owner of Dark Horse Martial Arts in Canmore. Has been living in the Valley since 2013. Moved a few weeks before the flood. We'll get into that a little bit. I did kind of want to dive in. That was a pretty crazy time. Worked up until March 2023 and then decided to go full time with the club. Congratulations. That's
Thank
huge.
you.
Awesome stuff.
Big step.
Owner of Dark Horse Martial Arts, which is formerly Bow Valley Jiu-Jitsu. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt instructor and coach. Also coaches MMA and kickboxing. Fought in MMA and probably one of the most active black belt competitors in the province. Loves hiking, loves the mountains, got a wife, a pup, 2 kittens. Also a few awards: Best of Bow 2024, Best Gym, Best After School Activity, Best Community Builder, Best Mountain Person.
This guy.
Yeah, man, quite the accolades. That's
Jeez,
awesome,
man.
Travis. Way to be.
I think it's the beard. It's the beard.
Hey, I kept mine just for this. I was like, I gotta show up with my beard too and represent. You know what I mean? So how you doing today?
Doing good. Doing good. A little chilly out there, but
Yeah, winter's settling in, eh?
it is. It is. I'm not. I like winter though. No bugs.
Yeah,
True.
no doubt. No mosquitoes.
Yeah, mosquitoes drive me crazy.
They get pretty ruthless out here.
I was at the ski hill this morning. It was pretty cold at like 9:30. First lifts up were. I'm
Oh,
still
yeah, I
feeling it
bet,
on my
eh?
face a little bit
I
for
bet.
sure.
That's gotta be. And then with the beard, it looks nice. Like you get like that nice frost.
I
on it.
had like just the mustache
Just the
sticking
light.
out, so
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it's. I actually prefer it without the beard
Oh really?
because it just gets frozen up. Like,
Oh, I think I would die.
nah, I don't
That'd be
know.
So cold.
Yeah, I don't know. This will probably be the last day of it. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're over it, eh?
I think so.
Just get the buff out.
I
Just-
kept it because I wanted a little protection for the
A little
comedy
buffer,
set. You
yeah.
know, yeah. I didn't want to go up there clean faced.
Why?
Like,
Baby face.
I don't know. It's just like something psychological about it. Like,
Yeah, how was that for
it was
everyone listening?
awesome. It was so good.
Yeah?
Lots of fun.
Who ran
It
that?
was-
That was
Gene Keenan.
Gene.
There was 4 on the panel. 4 of our prior guests:
Nice.
Gene Keenan, Kyle Guy, Zach Andrews, and
Nice.
Chewy.
I
Oh,
saw
cool.
Zach on there. That's
Yeah.
sweet. He's a
Oh, yeah.
former student.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Zach
Zach's
is
awesome.
sick, man.
Oh,
he
he's
was
a good
putting
shit.
out some funny ass jokes on the what was it, Sunday night? Yeah, Sunday
So,
night.
well, he was on the panel.
Yeah.
So,
they-
it was like Kill Tony style, eh?
exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
So they had
How bad did they roast you?
not at all. Like,
No?
yeah, no,
He's
I
got
like
the beard.
Yeah,
got
they
the
got
beard.
the padding.
It's a
yeah,
protection.
I was
padding, yeah.
expecting a bit more of a roasting. Chewy was like, "I'm feeling mean" when I walked in the door. I was like, "Oh fuck, man, he's gonna rip me apart."
Chewy.
But yeah, I don't know. It was my first time ever doing it. Jokes went pretty mess. Some of them hit, some of them didn't, as expected. But I'm looking forward to like putting together another minute and trying again for sure.
Nice.
It's lots of fun.
Nice. Are
Where's
they,
like-
Where's it at?
They did it at the Lodge at the Brew Pub,
Nice.
Oh, nice.
which is a great venue because the bar's all the way at the back. So even if people are like getting drinks and stuff, it doesn't really bother you.
Yeah, it's awesome. Hops does her events there.
Yeah,
good
it's a sick little venue,
it's,
man.
It's, I saw Charlie down there the one week. He's like, dude, this spot's sick. I'm like,
Yeah.
no doubt. Like,
It's pretty awesome.
they cleared all the tables. They leave a couple at the back just to like chill out. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's sweet.
So big shout out. That was super fun. I think they're doing another one next month. You'll see me there for sure.
Nice.
But back to you, Travis. What have you been doing today? You said you had some classes. I saw your post earlier. That was pretty awesome. Thank you for giving us a shout out there.
Yeah, no worries. We had kids from Notre Dame.
Okay.
They come in. They're doing a 4-week course. Come in, learn some jiu-jitsu, learn some kickboxing,
Cool.
and then adults jiu-jitsu. And then did some sparring. Showered, came here.
Nice.
Nice.
Busy morning.
That's
You seem
no
like a pretty
doubt.
calm guy for someone who's been fighting all morning, you know?
That's
think-
why he got it all out before he
Yeah.
came in.
That's gotta
Yeah,
be it.
he's like, I got to tone her down a bit. We'll just like fight all morning. Should be
Pretty
good.
much.
Yeah,
pretty
nice.
much. I think some of the most calm people are actually people that fight.
Well, I think you have to keep a calm head in a very
Right.
high stress situation,
No
right?
doubt.
Because you want to be thinking out there when you're fighting. You don't want to be
Yeah.
just going all
Winging.
nuts.
Going in there all willy nilly. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's and it's like it's like if those people that work out in the morning.
Hmm.
I don't work out really other than what I do.
Yeah, fair.
Oh,
But
nice.
like if you work out in the morning, you go to work and you feel like awesome, you feel good. And
True.
like if you go and choke someone out or you go get choked out, nothing there's nothing worse that's gonna happen to you in that day.
True.
Yeah, no doubt. That's a good point.
That's a good way to look at it.
No doubt. So, Travis, where are you from originally?
Originally all around Alberta is like farm life, moving around.
Okay.
From grade 6 to 12, I was with my mom in Wabamun. Good
That's
luck.
Yeah, where's that?
Random middle of nowhere town.
Yeah,
I suspect. Yeah,
West of Edmonton there.
Okay, cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't really explored too much around Alberta. I just went to like Pincher Creek for the first time, like southern Alberta. I've never
Nice.
been north. I've never been to
No?
Edmonton. I've
Oh,
never
really?
been like, yeah, no,
You
not
don't
a
need
lot.
to.
What? Yeah, I've
Yeah,
been
it's just I was supposed to go see it like Tool before the pandemic.
Oh,
that I
yeah.
had tickets, but we just never. Everything got canceled. And I never made my way
Right.
back up there. Yeah,
Good
it's
point.
pretty. It's a shame because I heard there's lots of fun stuff up there.
Yeah, man, I've been up there a couple times. Me and Figgy and Channing and the boys when we were on tour there.
Yeah,
we like
field
went all
touring.
up through. There's like a bunch of stupid small towns, but yeah, we had like Edmonton and all that shit up there.
Spruce Grove, Stony Plain.
No, like
No?
Innisfail, like
nice.
yeah, no, not
Even
nice.
Smaller. I like it.
I think you're
Oh,
the
man.
first Albertan, like true Albertan that we've had.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because the Bow Valley's full like people
of
from
everyone.
everywhere
Ontarians,
else. Yeah, yeah,
Ontarians,
yeah. Last
Yeah.
week with cricket, we had the first person from BC that moved east.
Yeah.
And then now we got the
Yeah.
first true Albertan.
Nice.
So why did you choose the Bow Valley?
Well, I was in Lloydminster, and if you know anything about Lloydminster, it's a,
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, the border town. Yeah.
trash heap of a city.
Oh yeah.
Sorry if you're listening from there. They know
Figgy used to always say the girls from there were the hottest. So
there's a lot of money up there. That's
Yeah.
probably why.
Okay.
And then yeah, me and my wife got married in Banff, like here.
Okay, nice.
It was at the International. I don't think that even exists anymore. The Banff International Hotel.
The international.
International. Mm.
Yeah, it was.
That's got to be where I think it's like, yeah. Anyway, I think it's still
man.
there, just under a different name. I
yeah,
think.
probably.
Yeah.
And then we were driving home to Lloydminster, and we had to stop for gas. Saw Canmore. We're like, "What's this little town?"
Nice.
And then we stopped for gas. I saw a Ford dealership, and I was like, well, I could be a mechanic here. I love the mountains. And then 2 weeks later, I sent in a resume. They said they weren't hiring, but then I'm like a journeyman.
Okay.
Hard to come by in the town. And yeah, we moved out here. Everything just kind of lined up perfectly. It was awesome.
Sick. So you
Okay.
move here, and then you said in your bio that the floods happened right away. So that must have been a pretty wild experience. Canmore got
Oh,
hit
Yeah.
like
they
much harder than Banff. I remember was like a pretty cool time for myself personally. But how was it for you?
I love, it sounds horrible, but I loved it. I really did. I went to work, so I like drive. There's like a little bit of a stream going over like the drive out of my place. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like,
Yeah.
what's this? And then I make it to like past the roundabout going to old Bow Valley Ford. And there's a road closure. I was like, oh shit.
What?
And I don't know anyone. I don't know like anyone. I have one number and it's the service manager. So I'm like, oh, thank goodness I have that. And I call him up. I'm like, hey, Kev, how'd I get into work today? Like, I don't know any like other route. I know one way to work.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we're closed. There's like a flood. I was like, oh, okay. So then like I drive home and that little stream I drove through became that entire, it was like 8 feet, 10 feet of water and it's just flowing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, in like 10 minutes.
It was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
crazy.
So like I took my truck and I backed up and I just rammed through it and like it started like turning to the side as I was going. It was pushing me to the side.
Oh, there's that much
Really?
water, eh?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like over in Palliser.
Mhm.
I don't know
Oh,
if you
okay,
guys
yeah.
know where that is.
Yeah.
yeah.
And what I mean by like it was the coolest time is you got to see the community like pull together. And
No,
For
yeah.
sure.
it was beautiful. It was
Yeah.
beautiful to see everyone being like, "Oh, do you need anything? Do you need anything? What can we do for you?
Yeah, no doubt.
Do you need food? Like we lost our entire fridge because everything, all the power was out and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it was just beautiful to see the community come together. I'm a big community guy, so I was like, that was the coolest thing to see of a small town.
And that's one thing too.
Common theme.
Definitely common theme that we've explored on this podcast is when tragedy does strike. This community is one of the best to come together and
No
kind of
doubt.
provide for each other. My experience in the flood was crazy. I got evacuated. I was living at Birch Street, so like where the rec grounds are at the
Oh,
apartments
okay.
right there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I wake up. I was partying the night before. I wake up to like I could hear commotion going on outside. Windows were open.
Oh, yeah.
And I wake up to like a knock at the door, and it's like a fireman in full gear. I'm like, what the fuck's going on, man? He's like, do you have a vehicle in the parking lot? I was like, yeah, 100%. I had like a Ford Windstar something at the time.
Classy.
He's like, well, you better get it out of there because like it's flooding. So whatever, we get dressed, we go down, and it's up to like the wheel well. So I get in, start it. I start it, and he's yelling from like the not flooded area. He's like, if it starts, just take it out of here. Take it out of here. So we just drove it out. We got evacuated. We went to stay at the Mount Royal Hotel, I was working in the restaurant there at the time. And we just partied in the hotel. It was sick.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, that was the year before I moved out here. So I missed the
Yeah,
whole
it was
thing.
crazy. I remember
I
the
moved here in
benches,
January 2014.
like the benches in the park here being like fully submerged. It was
Oh, crazy.
insane.
Dude,
Nice.
there was people kayaking down like a railroad. They were like,
Oh,
a guy
wow.
was in his bike up to like his waist, and he's like, you can barely see the handles, and he's like trying to pedal, and there's guys like getting pulled on like floaties and stuff,
Oh,
and then
that's
people
wild.
were kayaking beside the road.
That's
It was
such a
crazy.
Canmore move, still biking.
Yeah,
through the
he's like,
Got a
I'm
kayak.
going. I got my 10 speed.
Just
We're-
got a kayak to work now. Like, oh, yeah.
That's
It's
so
brutal.
good.
I was digging out vehicles like because the Ford dealership got hit hard.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Oh,
up
yeah.
to the mirrors and rocks
Oh,
afterwards. That was I
no.
was like, I don't even know if I have my tools, job, or anything.
Crazy.
Back to work. He's like, well, your job is no longer like fix cars because nobody's coming in here. Your job is dig out cars and then
Damn.
like see what the thing is. And
That's
it's up to
crazy.
the mirrors, so you're like digging with a shovel.
So
It's
quite,
crazy.
quite the wild introduction to the valley, man. That's,
welcome,
that's
eh?
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, hey, you're here.
Yeah,
And
no
then it's like,
doubt.
This
wow.
place is extreme. Like you forget that we live in a place that
Oh, yeah.
like the wildlife and nature, they do reign supreme.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it.
Forever changed the Palliser disc golf course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, after that
Oh,
flood, like
it
it took
ripped-
down. There's a trailer washed out down in there
Crazy.
now. It was
Well,
wild.
there's like a little paintball course. Like there's that little thing that got washed out.
yeah, yeah.
People would play paintball over there.
Sick.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So hey, take the good with the bad. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Take the good with the bad. So when did your martial arts journey begin?
Oh man, I've always been into martial arts. Like
yeah,
since I was a kid, like ninja stuff, like
Okay.
sticks and all that.
yeah, yeah.
On the farm, you don't have anything, so you have a stick and an older brother to get beat with by a stick.
yeah.
And then from there, we like college. We started watching The Ultimate Fighter. Like I don't.
Okay.
How old are you? Sorry,
Oh, geez. I'm born in 90.
90. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm 85. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like 86. So that
Yeah,
same
yeah.
kind of era.
For
so
sure.
Ultimate Fighter comes out season 1.
Mhm.
And I was like all in on it. I was like, this is awesome. Like fighting. I was like, this is cool. So then like right from there is like, I want to do this after that first season. And me and a buddy, we like got some DVDs
Yeah.
and we're like, okay, we're gonna do this.
This is
So
what
we
we're gonna
like
do.
laid out this like sleeping bag and we opened it up. So that was our mats. It was
Oh, wow.
it was insane. So we're doing like
Nice.
the moves on the mats and like it hurt, it sucked, but we were still doing them. And then yeah, from there it went into kickboxing, boxing. So that's like 2010.
Okay. So from humble beginnings, here we are
Okay.
today.
Yeah. And
That's
then,
awesome.
Yeah, then when I moved out here, I started Brazilian style jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, for those that don't know, like what would be the difference between say like Brazilian jiu-jitsu or like MMA or kickboxing? Like what are the differences between the disciplines, I guess?
So MMA, you just got an amalgamation of everything, like all the styles
Okay.
coming in. So you got like you have to be competent in like kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu is definitely like you start on the feet. It comes from judo.
Yeah, yeah.
So you start on the feet, it gets to the ground, and then it's submission-based fighting. So like chokeholds,
Mhm.
strangulations, and joint locks.
Okay.
And then kickboxing's like pretty much all stand up. You throw kicks, knees, elbows, fists.
Cool.
So
all
more
fun stuff.
striking based.
Yeah. At our club, we definitely do more like an MMA approach to kickboxing, but it's still all stand up.
Okay, cool.
And then our jiu-jitsu is all groundwork. And then we do have MMA and a wrestling class.
Cool.
Okay,
Wrestling is
nice.
actually another one that I should like throw in there. Wrestling for MMA, you need.
Yeah.
That grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wrestled in high school. I actually went to OFSA, which is like the
Oh, yeah?
Ontario Championships.
Yeah.
It was fun. I loved my time wrestling. I came from like a football background, so it was kind of I always had that like forward momentum going, and that was one thing I had to learn to was
Yeah.
not always go forward.
Decent years for going into wrestling.
Oh,
You don't got all
it was like
notched
2
up.
seasons. Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't that intense.
I say that full well knowing that my ears aren't big cauliflower ears. I got weird ones. I'm gonna knock on some.
Is that like a rite of passage? You like can
It's-
tell a fighter how intense they are by how cauliflowered they're.
Sometimes
Yeah.
people just do it to themselves, and you're like,
I feel like that's a bit of a lamer way to do it.
100%.
Yeah.
Just get punched in the head a bunch.
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
man, that's
one
way
of those-
cooler. That's way cooler, dude. It's like, how'd you get those? I punched myself in the head a bunch. That doesn't sound as cool. You know,
It's kind of like buying ripped jeans. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
not really
Yeah,
earning the coolness of it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
It's like
saying? That's
pre-scuffing cowboy boots. Oh no,
Oh,
that's an
yeah, there
Alberta
you go.
thing, and
Yeah,
like,
I-
I've seen that at like the
Oh my
Calgary
God,
Stampede.
that's
I'm
great.
like, oh, I don't like.
that's
you.
a bit cringy, man. That's a bit of a cringy move for
Or
sure.
belt bu- I don't know how much you like. If I'm the only Albertan,
No,
it's
please, please.
it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You see these belt buckles on these guys with the
Oh,
boots
yeah.
that have never been worn, and you're just like, I can't go to the Stampede. I just look around. You wear this once a year, like it's brutal.
Honestly,
that's
I've
awesome.
been to the Stampede once, and I don't normally return unless I have like people visiting or whatever, just because I'm not a cowboy. Like
Yeah,
I grew up in
Yeah.
a city. I moved here, and like I don't know. I'm not a cowboy. I would feel like I don't own cowboy boots. I don't have the hat. I would feel like
Yeah.
a bit of a poser, you know, like. But I guess that's what it's for. It's like
I think that's what it's evolved
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
For sure.
I mean, if you're go to the rodeo, like the rodeo is rooted in tradition and it's something
Yeah.
that like, you know, that's how people made their living out here for quite a long period of time. So it's kind of cool to see that kind of stuff, right?
Okay.
Not actually like racing, but like farming and taking care of animals and all that.
Okay.
What does the road to becoming like a coach of martial arts look like? How do you go from like, you know, you said earlier doing it on a unfolded
Sleeping
sleeping
yeah.
bag to like now becoming a coach? Is there like how do you progress through the ranks by getting different belts? I would assume, right?
Yeah, so jujitsu you have like you have 5 belts, so white, blue, purple, brown, black. My route was 100% the hardest way to go.
Oh yeah.
The club that we went or that I first started training at when I was here was Canmore Fight Club. So it was a boxing club with like a tiny little mat over in the corner to hide us away from the real fighters.
Okay,
kinda thing.
the real fighters,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
the
And,
singular discipline fighters.
pretty
right?
much, pretty much. And then so I got to like I competed a lot, and I got to my 3rd stripe white belt, and then the club shut down.
Okay,
And I looked at my buddy and I was like, dude, I want to continue. I want to keep doing this. And he's like, me too. So then as 3 stripe white belts, we're like, okay, well, let's buy like $5,000 of mats, toss money like at like
Hey.
hopes and dreams.
Sorry.
No, all good.
She's
that's getting rowdy.
Cat's up there getting rowdy. She's trying to break stuff on the glass coffee table.
She's like, pay attention to me. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you.
No,
Sorry,
there.
buddy,
all
my
good.
bad.
If it's a cat or an animal, I'm totally fine. So yeah, we started a club, Bow Valley Jiu Jitsu, in 2015 as 3
Right.
stripe white belts.
Okay,
That's funny.
And like everybody was like, this will never work. You guys aren't instructors. This is fake. You guys suck. All this, like, we got
really?
Oh, yeah.
we got a
Really?
lot of hate in
Oh,
the
shit.
Man.
Yeah,
That's a tough biz. It's like cutthroat out there, is it?
yeah, it was
Oh, it's wild.
rough. And then we just stuck to what we knew. No, like, and that's how I've taught this entire time. Only teach what you know.
Mhm.
Leave anything else that you don't know until you know how to do it.
Yeah, don't try to like overreach your own
Yeah.
kind of knowledge,
Even
right?
if you don't know martial arts, you understand bullshit,
Mhm.
right? You understand
Yeah,
for sure.
someone's lying to you.
Yeah, no
or,
doubt.
or or it's a cult. One of the two, right? I don't know.
Is that a common thing in the
There's
martial
a
arts
lot
world?
of fake black belts for sure. Like fake people that shouldn't be teaching because they're like, oh, I saw this on Instagram. Let's do it. And then it's like, do you know what you're doing? And they're like, well, I saw it. It's like,
How
You-
could you
okay.
like check if someone's legitimately a black belt or not?
that's the greatest part about jujitsu is there's sparring. So you can like roll with the person. You're like, oh man, you're like,
Put your money where your mouth
yeah,
is.
pretty
type-
much.
Yeah.
And like you do that every now and then, and like it's common. Like people, like we're in a valley of people coming in. Like I've had like 4 stripe black belts come in,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to know that you're like actually rolling and you're fairly legit.
hmm
I feel like I'm a white belt when I'm rolling with those guys because they
Yeah,
come in
yeah.
and they're like monsters, but they're like, oh, it's good to see. But yeah, that's
Do you find you get exposed to that being in Banff? Like people just traveling along that want to go
Yeah.
for a little roll on their vacation and they
All the
seek,
time.
seek like a drop-in sesh?
all the time.
Yeah, that's
all the time.
sick.
I love it. I love
Nice.
it. Like we've had people from Brazil, Denmark, like everywhere in the world, Japan, and they just drop in. They're like not most clubs, they're warming up, but like a lot of clubs are like, no, we don't want people. We're keeping our secrets. Whereas I'm like, bring me all your stuff, bring me all the techniques, show me
Nice.
what you're rolling. Like I want to
That's
see
cool.
how I want to compare myself to where you're at.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That's
it's awesome. Everyone's for the most part is really cool coming in. Like
Nice.
they're pretty sweet people. So
Good
That's-
scene then.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so sick.
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. Man, that's fucking sweet. How'd you come up with the name Dark Horse?
So we started Bow Valley Jiu Jitsu. We were strictly like a jiu jitsu club that did some striking.
Okay.
And then 2019, like this is like the worst possible timing, right before we
Oh,
got
yeah.
shut down and everything.
Yeah,
doubt.
right before the pandemic.
Yeah,
nice.
And I was like, you know what? I bought the club off because I was a 50-50 partner,
Okay.
and then I bought the club fully. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna change it. We do more than just jujitsu. And so I was going through all these ideas with a couple of friends, and they're like, no, that's garbage. No, that's stupid. and I love it. I love that they were like, they're just honest with
They're
me.
good. They're good
You-
friends.
That's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good friend.
that's
Yeah,
good
you
friends
need
right
honest
there.
friends out there,
Oh, yeah,
man,
that's
for
great.
sure.
I love it. And they're both like, that shit. What are you doing? And then I was looking back. I have like sketchbooks and journals and stuff. And I saw Dark Horse, and I was like, ooh, I remember that. And it was actually a journalist or a sports journalist out of the Rocky Mountain Outlook.
Mhm.
Oh, cool.
Jordan Small.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
don't
know
if you
Jordan.
got-
Yeah.
yeah, he's a beauty. And he was like, he rode. I had my first super fight as a blue belt. I just got my purple belt like a week before, and everybody was like saying, no, he doesn't have a chance because I don't train with like any black belts or anything. Like I was the head guy,
Yeah.
and this other guy that I was facing was like 35 pounds heavier. He'd been training longer. He is a purple belt for however long, and he trains with black belts all day.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then Jordan Small was like, oh, he's going to be the dark horse of this.
Okay.
He's the guy that
He
everyone's-
coined the name.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
go.
sick.
Yeah,
Nice one,
he-
Jordy.
So then I didn't even ask him. I was like, that's mine.
Just,
Okay.
It's mine.
Low key, you can't nickname yourself anyways. so
Yeah, I
that's
know.
like
Yeah, no
that's like
doubt,
the
no
perfect. Yeah,
I
awesome.
loved it. So I went back and I showed it to my friends, and they were both like, that, yeah. And then like, because the dark horse is the person that nobody believes in,
Yeah.
but somehow finds a way to win. And
Like the
I feel like
underdog.
that's my style.
Okay, sick. Well, yeah, you said earlier people have been doubting you, starting your own thing when
No doubt.
you
That's
couldn't
wild.
join something that you wanted to do. You started your own, right?
Yeah.
Like again, a common reoccurring theme of a lot of our guests that we've had on here is,
Just
oh, how'd you start doing it? It's like, yo, I wanted to do it, so I just did it. You know,
Yeah.
starting your own community when there's the need for it.
That's wild.
That's awesome. We got to tip our hat to you
Yeah.
for that.
Well, most clubs don't start until you're a black belt.
Fair.
Like, you don't start a club
You could like, yeah,
until you're at least that. And it's like, we had nothing.
whatever. Take a
So we're
chance,
just like,
man.
let's go.
Take a
And
chance. Look where you are now.
yeah, no doubt.
Jump in.
Um,
That's how it is.
What are some of like the core philosophies that your club stands by?
For I say it a lot, and jujitsu and everything is for everyone,
Mhm.
whether or not it's for you individually is a thing. So it's like, come in and try it out.
Okay.
We're a crew of misfits. I like to think of like, we have some people that were cool in the day, but we have a lot of people that are like, I play Lego. Like myself personally, I build Lego.
Nice.
I watch anime. I got a giant tattoo of Shenron. If you guys
Nice.
know Dragon Ball Z, that's me,
Yeah,
man.
Nice, let's go.
Right
I'm a
on.
giant nerd.
Nerd for
and
life. Let's go. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. And it's like we're not that intimidating. Like we're good at what we do,
Mhm.
and like if there's like an altercation, we're probably gonna win.
Yeah.
But I'm also gonna like nerd out and play chess with you.
For
Like,
sure.
Yeah, no doubt. That's
like
awesome.
it's just a thing. So it's like come in, try it out. If you're one of those outcast people that didn't really have a place to fit or a community,
Yeah.
come in, try it out. It's a beautiful thing because
Cool.
lots of us are that exact same person.
Fair. So if you're out there and you're having a hard time finding a community here in the Bow Valley,
There you go.
there might be one right under your nose
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
Dark Horse Martial Arts.
Where
Club.
would one begin if they want to give it a try?
It's a weird coincidence, but we are starting another beginners only course.
Cool.
January 9th. I
Nice.
think. I'm gonna have to double check that. I think it's the 9th. And that's beginner friendly. If we've had we've ran it twice and we've had people stick on after that. They're
Cool.
just like, oh yeah, these are my people. Like this is cool, this is interesting.
For sure.
They get a physical workout, they get a mental workout, and then they're like, this is cool. The community's cool. And so January 9th, or just drop into a Monday, Wednesday session for jujitsu, Tuesday, Thursday night for kickboxing.
Okay.
Cool.
Also I'm gonna just shout it out. We have women's only coming back.
Nice.
Nice. There you go.
So, ladies,
Yeah, no doubt.
you want to get out there, you want to get in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
like learn how to defend yourself. It's a very important thing to know.
I think it's the most important thing.
Mhm.
So like, and I want to bring that up just because we have 2 blue belt women now running it. I used to
Cool.
run it with one of my blue belts,
Yeah.
and now it's just a women only.
Women only
I'm
thing.
not
Okay,
there.
cool.
They
Cool.
can do it. They're running it. Danielle's just and Avon super stoked to just
Nice.
jump in and run
Sweet,
it.
man.
And so like in this last tournament, for Submission Ace, there's a ton of tournaments. Sub Ace is one of those ones that like it's a little bit premier in
Mhm.
Alberta. And they took between the 2 of them, they took the no-gi absolute champion in their belt class and a no-gi absolute champion. And so they got like a belt and everything.
Okay,
Cool,
nice.
that's
So they're pretty
some
badass.
serious,
Yeah, no doubt.
serious contenders you're
Yeah.
working
They know
with.
what they're doing.
They know what's up.
Yeah.
They know what's up.
Well, that's awesome, man. Because again, like a lot of people in this town sometimes fall into the wrong type of crowd and are looking for a way out. It's a really good place to spend your time if you are looking for that kind of new community of people that are accepting no matter what, it seems.
Totally. And it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
Martial arts is often seen as a violent sport. How would you address like that perception of people, and like if someone's apprehensive about trying it due to like the violence aspect of it, what would you say to that person?
I mean, it is a violence, but it's controlled violence.
Mhm.
In jujitsu specifically, we have a tap. So if like something hurts, you're uncomfortable or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you just like tap.
And that's like submission based. So when you're feeling like pressure or whatever,
Pressure.
uncomfortable.
Nice.
Anything like that, you can tap. It's
Yeah.
over. Our whole club knows you stop it immediately,
For sure.
and then you move on.
Yeah.
And then you play the game. It's like, okay, well, they got me there. They did this. They did that. Well, I'm not gonna let them do that again.
For sure.
Cool.
If you're just starting out, that usually happens again
Over
over and over until you learn it.
Yeah.
100%.
But, like, yeah, it is a violent thing, but it's a controlled violence.
Yeah.
Where if you're just uncontrolled violence, where you're just going out and picking street fights, I mean that's probably a different thing.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah, it's not Fight Club.
everyone's seen those
No.
Yeah, it's
videos
not Fight
like
Club.
like on YouTube or on their like Reels feed or whatever of like people being dicks in the gym. Like I feel like
Totally.
that is like so few and far between when it comes down to reality. Like
Yeah.
people aren't there in the club to hurt other people. They're there to kind of learn discipline and learn kind of the more arts aspect. Like I just noticed the chess piece on your logo. Like it's also a mental game. You're playing chess against someone kind of with your body, right?
Yeah, it's described as physical chess.
Okay, cool.
Right? There's also like another one where you're folding clothes, but the person's still inside of them. But we'll hide that.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That's sick.
I like that.
But yeah, it's a physical chess game. Like there are times that we go harder if you're coming up to a competition.
Well,
but
of
you
course,
don't have to compete. You can just come in and train and like get a physical workout.
For sure.
Or if you want to compete, then you're going to compete, and it's going to be harder on the body for sure too.
100%.
But it depends on what you want to do.
So there's levels to it. You don't just because you're going to train doesn't mean you're necessarily going to have to fight competitively. I think those are definitely two distinct levels in what you do. Like I've been to Muay Thai fights. My buddy Tommy, big shout out Tommy, took me to a Muay Thai fight in Calgary. I think last year, a couple years ago.
Was that the one where everybody punched his arm off?
Oh my god, we can't even get into that. Yeah, that was the one. But yeah, it was super intense. They were like fighting for some spot on like a reality show or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Actually, on one FC.
Yes, that was the one. Absolutely, yeah.
Jake Peacock was involved with that too.
I think so. Yeah.
That was actually a sweet event. I had a friend go, like we had a whole crew go in and watch it.
Oh, we might have brushed shoulders at the Stony Nakota without even knowing it, man.
wow,
That's
there you go.
wild.
It was sweet.
There you go.
What are some of your like personal proud moments? You said obviously like getting a black belt. We didn't really touch too much on that. How do you go? Like, what's that process like? Going from white to purple to brown to black. It's like a series of tests, I would assume.
So
And you'd have to get them for all different disciplines, right? Same with jiu-jitsu.
pretty much, kind of. For jiu-jitsu, I went from white to brown under Brian Bird of Champions Creed.
Mhm.
So, that's in the city. We'd go we were driving in twice a week.
Damn.
To get our blue belts.
Yeah,
like
crazy.
me and my buddy Rich, and that was a lot. Like for blue belt, you test,
Mhm.
and it was a hard test. It was like 3 hours of
Oh,
like
damn.
just
What does a test look like? They run you through positions, or are they like you got to fight someone? What
So
is it?
It's positions like you're doing your base moves, and then you spar it. So that's and then
Oh,
you
okay.
do the next mount, get out of mount, and
Yeah.
then do the next get out of side mount,
Okay.
get out of guard, show some submissions, but you're sparring each one,
Yeah.
and then at the very end when you're tired, you'll go against all the black belts.
Oh, nice.
So,
Oh,
and I
no.
was the first one to go against, so
Oh,
they're all
God.
all
They're
the
all
ready to
fresh.
go.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
and
ready
the
to
very
rip.
first guy I went in, I was just like my nerves, everything was shot, and I was just like, I gotta take him out, and I was like a white belt, like going to my blue, but I was like nothing.
Yeah.
And this guy was like, oh crap, he's coming at me, and then he's like, no, and he just beat the shit out of me for like 5 minutes,
Nice.
and then the next guy, he saw what I was trying to do to the first guy, so he beat the shit out of me, and there was just
It
me
got
getting
worse and
beaten
worse,
up.
yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
Each
That's
one
funny.
got worse and worse, but
Trial by fire, hey?
I was just like,
Right.
yeah, definitely. They really don't give it to you. Huh?
no. And then at the end, then they give you a belt, and you're like, I earned this piece of cloth.
Yeah,
And
hell yeah.
that's probably one of the proudest moments because I put a shitload of work into it. Purple I got like right before my super fight, and I was like, my instructor came out, he's like, man, you're ready for it.
Okay.
And all this, and then brown kind of the same way, and then I dropped my affiliation and I just went on my own. I was like,
What's that? Dropping your
So
affiliation to a gym or to a?
yeah, so he was my instructor, Brian.
Okay,
Bird,
yeah.
So he was the one that graded me.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then I don't know, we just had a differing of opinions and a falling out. And I was like, hey man, we just had a actual phone call. I was like, hey, I'm not feeling it anymore. I'm gonna drop it. And he's like, yeah, cool. And then it was done. Like
Okay.
we still talk and stuff.
Yeah.
Every now and then when we see each other because it's a smaller community.
Hey, sometimes like you don't want to say move in with your best friend or work with your friend. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like sometimes when things get a little too intense, it can get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just different opinions. I'm
Understandable.
very much community, and
Mhm.
I wanted to be the athlete. I want to be the coach. Business is a little minor of mine. Like that's not my push. I want to build the best community. I want to be the best coach. And we just had different opinions. And then I dropped it and I just kind of went out on my own. And then for the club's sake, one of my brown belts, or he was a purple belt at the time, but I don't know. I gave him. I don't know. I can't remember. He's a brown belt now. And Carter was like, "Hey man, you need your black belt for the club." I was like, "Yeah, but who am I going to get on it? I don't care. I don't care about belts anymore." And he was like, "Hey," and then like he was like, "You need to get it." I was like, "You know what? You know me best. You go find someone to give me my black belt. Like I don't care."
Yeah, fair.
And
Oh, yeah,
then there's this guy, Drew Weatherhead. So he runs this meme page because jujitsu or because jitsu.
Sick.
Yeah, and it's like he's the number one in the entire world for jujitsu memes, but he comes from
That's awesome.
central Alberta.
Oh,
Wild.
Yeah, just
Crazy.
north of Red Deer.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's a beauty of a human, and Carter arranged for it. It was a surprise, and like I'm like sitting in my office, like expecting like this seminar from another guy, and then I like finally walk out, and Drew's sitting there on the mat. So I was like, look over at Carter. I was like, "You bastard!" And like it was a straight up
Nice.
surprise. We had a class, and then they promoted me to black belt. So I'm sitting there for 40 minutes, knowing what's coming, and I can't really say anything. I gotta
dude.
make it. I was like, yeah, but yeah, props to Carter for setting that up, and
That's
I'm
sick.
still kind of just on my own. I do my own thing.
Okay,
I
sick.
don't have anyone above me going, "Hey, you need to do this." And
It's the way to go, man.
That's the way I love it.
I
That's
think
the way my
it's-
mind works.
That's the best way to do it, honestly. Less hands in the pot, I think, is kind of the way to go, especially when you're in business and stuff, right? Like,
Yeah,
you can make your own decisions, you can do what you want. And honestly, just to touch on what you said earlier, it made me think of something I was listening to today. And you said like community first, and then kind of business is not really your priority. I forget who said it, but it was a quote that I heard today. And it was like, if the only thing you can do in your life is make money the second most important thing, like that's a huge win. You know what I mean? Like put your passions first and the rest will kind of fall into place. You know what I'm saying? So
it comes in, and it. I put a lot of passion behind what I do. I love what I do. I love my coaching. I love all my students. Like they're amazing, and any of my students, they'll tell you they're like worst businessman ever. They're like, I have people dropping in. They're like, "We don't have cash today. Is it cool if I catch you next time?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, just whatever. Like,
that's awesome.
just come on in. Like,
Yeah.
let's put in the work, and then
Worry about the rest later. You know what I'm saying?
and people respect that. I get taken advantage of every now and then, but you know what? The trade off, well worth it. And to have someone come in and be happy and actually able to learn,
100%.
I'm like, yep, I'll take that all day, every day.
Like, do you really want someone part of your club that's going to come in and take advantage of you? Like,
They
that's
don't stick around.
That's what I mean. Like, that's just outing yourself as a non-community person. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
take advantage of someone's niceness.
It's kind of like the big, like, I don't know. I would assume it's like in the gym culture too, but like the meathead person,
Yeah.
they don't stick in our club. They're like, "Oh, you guys are losers or whatever. You guys are nerds." It's like, cool. You don't need to stick around. You can go street fight or
Yeah.
I don't know.
You don't
bench.
have to be here.
Do something over there. Do your thing.
Well, I
But
think
it doesn't.
that's
That's
Yeah.
like the people that kind of get weeded out, or the people that want to make fun of other people.
100%.
We make fun of each other. Like I get made fun of for being a giant nerd, having Lego in my office and all that. But it's fun. It's not like, oh,
Yeah, it's not mean.
no. Well,
Like-
some of it for me, but in a good way, in a good learning way.
Wild. What do you think? Do you think, like, even though we talked about it earlier, you said even you got into MMA with the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, which for those that don't know, The Ultimate Fighter was like a reality TV
Yeah.
that had the contestants fighting each other and living in the same house. It was wild. I think like a bunch of fighters came up through that.
Yeah.
Nick Diaz and like
Yeah,
it was
I
the
remember
kind of
that.
the
It was
kickstart
big
of the
back in the
UFC.
Yeah.
Do you find that explosion in popularity has kind of been a good thing for mixed martial arts, or do you find you're getting like
I think it was a good thing.
Mhm.
It definitely made a shit ton of jujitsu clubs pop up because
For
they
sure.
saw like jujitsu. Oh, and then like Calgary went from like 3 kind of clubs to like I think there's got to be at least 30 in there now.
So kind of an explosion in popularity.
Yeah, and I think the one thing like you see a trend in is when they first started, it was fighters that were like, I'm gonna go knock that guy out,
Yeah.
choke him out, do whatever to get the win.
Yeah.
And then they had athletics second.
Mhm.
So like they're like, oh, I need to go all 5 rounds. I need to get some like cardio.
For sure.
Now you're seeing athletes that fight, not fighters that need to be athletes. So it's a
fair.
weird distinction.
Okay,
Like
fair.
So trying to make the crossover type of thing.
trying to come out of the game without like head trauma
Yeah.
and all this other stuff and win as much as possible in gaming the system rather than going out and just throwing bombs and stuff like that.
Fair. So more of a like tactical approach
Yeah.
rather than a passionate approach.
Yeah, there's always a tactical, but it was less athletic. Like less it was like let's go and fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More
I get
bare
that.
bones, so
I
to
get
that.
speak.
Yeah, it was pretty like bare knuckle boxing back in the day. Like when it first started, it was just like you guys beating the shit out of each
Yeah.
other in an octagon. Now it's like holy
Kimbo
man, these
Slice
guys-
videos, like
oh
fighting in
yeah,
the
Kimbo
street.
Slice. I forgot about
Kimbo
that.
Slice's son was gonna go. I think he's fighting in the UFC, or I
Crazy.
saw some like advertisement for it.
I think he's boxing now.
He's boxing. Is that what
Oh,
it
He's
was?
in boxing.
What are your thoughts on celebrity boxing? The
Oh.
last fight was horrendous. Jake
Oh,
Paul, Mike
God.
Tyson. At least they didn't take their money from the people. They took their money from Netflix, which is pretty rad. But that was terrible. I hate the kids. Jake Paul fans are gonna grow up thinking that that's boxing.
Brutal. Hate it.
I read-
I hate it all.
I read today that there was like some Saudi prince or something
Oh,
was
God,
offering
here we go.
700 million for a rematch, but Mike Tyson gets to keep all 700 mil if he knocks him out in
Yeah.
the first round. Because there's like moments where Mike held back.
Yeah, oh, you could tell
It-
for sure.
It's OG Mike.
Yeah.
You see him and he's like, he
Oh,
bobs and
yeah.
he comes in and he's
I
like,
know, I was
oh,
like-
yeah.
I was like, he's gonna. Oh no, he's not.
Yeah.
You could see him like just about to clobber the kid's head off, and then be like, I can't do that.
So like in
Oh.
one hand you
It was
got
depressing.
like a huge resurgence in boxing, right? Like it's never been more
Right.
popular in my lifetime.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, is it really
Garbage.
boxing? It's more like a show, like a manufactured.
doubt.
It's more reminiscent of like the WWE,
Yeah,
where like the
100%.
hype, like you saw more memes with Tyson's ass than of the actual fight. Like that made more
Yeah.
news that he had his ass out than
Yeah.
the actual fight did.
What a
It's
horrible
insane.
fight.
It was so
I
bad.
hated it.
It
I
was
hated
so
every
bad.
second of it. I was sitting there and I was like, man, if he's allowed to
I
go
know.
all out, I was like, he's
dead.
gonna destroy him.
Oh,
And then you
700 mil.
see, like, yeah,
You see
then
the-
you see
the
his hands
difference?
go down.
Yeah.
Like you see Paul's hands go down. I'm like,
Oh, that's a mistake.
And then,
oh
and
yeah,
then he's
it's like,
like,
you
I'm
would.
gonna come in and hug you.
Yeah, it's like you wouldn't want to do that if he could do what he
I don't
needed
know.
to do. Yeah.
I think yeah,
Big time
Mike
rigged.
Tyson should have. Oh, it
Well,
destroys my heart to see him do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, the paycheck's got to be huge. Like
Oh yeah.
the paycheck's massive. So I mean, can you, if you were approached with that kind of money,
I'd probably be like, yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
punch me in the face. What's the worst? Like,
Yeah,
10
no,
mil? Okay, well, I guess I'm set for life.
yeah.
no, dude.
But it's not like
The
these guys
problem
need more
is
money.
he has a legacy.
That's what I,
I
mean.
know.
Like, if I had that legacy, I'd be like, I probably couldn't. I'd be like, nah.
the legacy is worth
not
so
gonna
much
do it.
more than that, you know.
Yeah.
Like especially if that's his last fight, like
Yeah, brutal.
that sucks.
Any advice for all the small business owners out there, Bow Valley?
Man, I jumped into it. I was a mechanic for like 16 years, and I was doing
Crazy.
like the 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind
Yep.
of thing.
Yeah, dipping your
And-
toes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's rough. You don't win in either side.
Yeah.
Jump in. Go
For
after
sure.
it. Go after what you love. If you hate what you're doing, find something else.
Change it. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I tell people that all the time. If you don't like what you're doing, like do something about it. No one's gonna do
No
it
doubt,
for
man.
you, you know?
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
You-
that,
you gotta-
that'd
Some
be
great
the thing.
advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jump in, balls to the wall, go. Like put your heart into it. I'll say that all the time to people, and you see people go, "Oh, well, what if?" cool. What if you have one time at this? Let's go.
I think people are
Yeah.
afraid of failure a lot of the times, you
Well,
know?
yeah.
Like you can't in business and life, if you're afraid of failure, you're not really gonna ever accomplish too much.
No
you
doubt.
know?
You got to start somewhere.
That's it. That's
No doubt.
quickly before we go on to our post of the week. What's your thought on the slap fighting championships?
Oh no.
Oh, I don't
Like
like it.
it's crazy. Like it's that again, explosion in popularity.
Yeah.
It seems like they have not really trained fighters, more just like schmucks off the street. And
But
it's like
slapping.
Oh, it's
Okay, so I've done a combat jujitsu match, which
Yeah.
is there's no punching standing up,
Mhm.
but once you're on the ground, you're allowed to open hand palm strikes and slap.
Ooh,
And
that hurts.
Yeah, it was like I got elbowed in that, like in the stand up, and like it cut me open. That's beside the point. I'm gonna get Seb back for that one. I'm just gonna shout that out to him. I'm gonna get him back for it. But like once I got to the mat, those hurt, and like they're just hands behind their back, openly
It's
taking
crazy.
That is
I know.
head trauma waiting to happen. And
Yeah.
you're like, why? Like you look at people like at the prime of their fight and they're talking eloquently, they have great communication skills.
Uh-huh.
And then after a while, like if they take way too many shots to the head and their coach is a shitty coach, and they're like, no, get back in there. No, you're good. And then like this and they're just like, and
Big
you're like,
time.
dude,
Yeah.
you need to get out of there. And this slap fighting, you're gonna see it in. It's so new that nobody.
Yeah,
nobody
there's no long term like baseline for what damage you're doing to your fucking brain, right? Like
Well, I think there is through other sports, but like that's
Totally.
just like concentrating the impacts.
yeah.
And
What
it's
are some of the ways
hard.
that like you mitigate head injuries in that in your line? Like of course, competitive fighting, you're gonna sustain much more injuries. Like we said earlier, it's kind of two
Yeah.
different levels. Amateur and competitive, I feel like we can say those are
Oh,
two kind of
yeah.
different
Yeah.
classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are some of the ways that you mitigate that for yourself?
So when we're like sparring, all of our sparring sessions are like lighter contact to the head. You can go to the body, like liver shots. I don't know if you've ever been hit with a liver shot.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah, big time.
It-
Oh, that'll get your attention.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I've been hit by my boxing coach, and like you sit there and you have your guard up, and then you just like tip, and you're like, and then you just start crying, and you're like in the fetal position. You're just like, you can't do anything about it. Your body just shuts down.
Yeah.
So body shots are like we allow that a little bit harder, but
Mhm.
like to the head, we're like 10-20%.
Okay.
And like the sparring sessions are limited. We don't throw in a lot of sparring sessions. A lot of it is
Yeah.
pad work. A lot of it is like that kind of thing. I when I'm teaching striking or kickboxing or anything like that, it's like head movement, footwork.
Yeah.
Don't get hit. When people are sparring me, a lot of them are like, "You fight super weird. You do these weird things." I'm like, I don't like to get hit. Like,
Fair enough.
Getting
Yeah.
punched in the face is not fun. So like
No.
getting slapped in the face, that would be even worse.
That'd be
I
yeah.
hate that sport.
I don't know. I think it's like it's very clickbaity. Like it makes for good
Totally.
content for like dudes our age probably are like all over it. But I don't know. It's like I don't think the risk is worth the reward.
I
Like
can't
they're not the purses
No.
aren't too big for that neither yet. Like it's
No, I can't get behind
what
that.
would be your price? What would be your price, Matt,
For what?
for a slap championship round?
I'm not doing that shit.
Never? You would never do
Nah,
it?
it's
There's
just
no price
dumb.
in the world for you to do it.
Just dumb.
10 G's?
Just dumb.
Wouldn't do it? Travis? Would you? Is there a price? I know. I would have a price.
10G, I'd probably throw
10 Gs?
Yeah.
10
I'm
Gs?
pretty good. I got a big ass head and a big ass neck.
Yeah, you got a good
There
chin.
you go.
I got a decent
There you
chin.
go.
I think I would do it.
I'd probably get
10
my head
Gs?
slapped off.
I
Anyway.
mean,
Yeah, I don't know. I'd probably be a little bit more for me. I don't know. This is my moneymaker, man. I can't be smacking it off my face.
10 Gs could put a decent like
Yeah.
amount of equipment in my 55.
True.
I'd
There
be
you
cool with that.
There you go.
So 10 G's. You heard it here.
Yeah, let's go.
Dana, get
Let's
us on
go.
the horn. You heard it here first. Let's move on to some posts, shall we?
Let's do it.
Any final words before we move on? You want to tell people how to get a hold of you if they want to come check out a class again just before we?
Yeah. Jump on the website. Shoot me an email. Facebook, Instagram, anything. come on out. It's martial arts. People are like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to get injured. There are injuries if you're going like the competitive route, but we're pretty chill. As I said, we're a bunch of outcasts and nerds and stuff. Come on out if you're one of those people. Like, even if you're like an in-house nerd or an outdoors nerd, whatever, right? That's what we got. We got.
Outdoor cat.
Yeah, but that's
so fun. That's
but
awesome.
It's very true. Like,
I love it.
And like, we have one guy that does like the kickboxing. He's like, I got a friend coming out, so I'm gonna miss sparring. I'm like, no, bring your friend out too. He's
Yeah,
like,
nice.
no, he's an indoor nerd. I was like, yeah, but come on. And he's like, no, like far indoor nerd, but yeah.
Honestly, it sounds like a really fun way to stay in shape and to, even if you don't want to get hit in the head or take it to that level, just a fun way to get physical.
You'll never find another conditioning
Mhm.
like jujitsu, like like kickboxing.
100%.
We've had ultra marathoners
Yeah.
come in and they're just dying after one round, and we roll like 10 rounds.
Okay.
And they're like, I'm out. It's crazy. It's crazy the amount that people are like, oh, I'm super fit. It's like, yeah, cool.
Come try.
It's a different fit. It'd be like me going into an ultra marathon.
For sure.
I'm
Different
dying.
type.
I'm dying after a kilometer or whatever it is. I ain't
yeah.
running. So, I'm done.
Right on. So get on down there. Go check it out. They got drop-in classes. They got all women's classes coming up.
I'm gonna throw out one more thing.
Do it.
Our drop-ins, it's $20. We're gonna probably put it up to like $30, but the full amount goes to the Bow Valley SPCA.
There you go.
Or Heart Mountain Rescue.
Let's go.
I'm not even keeping that money. I donate it 100% to those two. I
Sick.
love animals, so those two get all the money.
Awesome.
So
That's
if
fucking
you're
awesome.
like, hey, I'm sketchy. Oh, I don't know. It's for the pups.
Yeah, consider it.
There you go.
It's a great thing for yourself. It's a great thing for your mental health. One thing I've been diving into lately is like the most meditative things that you can do is stuff that require all of your attention. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Snowboarding, whatever. If you're fighting someone, that's going to require all of your attention, especially if you're not someone that wants to like sit down and meditate, like sitting there. Like, do something physical that takes all of your attention, and you'll find, your mental clarity might improve for sure.
yeah.
I would say
100%. And it's
All
a
right.
good way to get comfortable in uncomfortable situations.
100%, and gain maybe a little bit of confidence if you're lacking that.
I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost. I'm not gonna fully guarantee,
Almost.
but I'm gonna say you're gonna gain confidence.
Awesome, tons of benefits.
Let's
Let's do
do it.
some posts, shall we?
Yeah, we got a couple of minutes here. Let's bingo bango through these bad boys.
Bingo bango. First one, defending awesome. So they've collected from the community. Big shout out to Jim and everyone there at Defending Awesome. You can now still apply for your holiday hampers.
No doubt. Go check them out. Defendingawesome.com. You got till December 12th.
Yeah,
Hit 'em
so
up.
they got tons of hampers lined up. They're looking to fill people's homes with delicious food.
No doubt.
Also, he's always looking for volunteers to help deliver them.
Oh, yeah,
if
big
you
time.
have the time,
Yeah.
he's a beauty of a human. I get all my fight shirts through him.
Hell
So
yeah.
like my
Yeah,
walkout
yeah.
shirts.
Nice.
Beauty of a human, but he's always looking for people to help deliver.
He's the
Yeah.
man.
So if you have the time, jump in on that.
For
too.
sure.
Hell yeah.
Shout.
Well, somebody had the time the other night, didn't they?
Yeah, this is me. I was come back from the comedy
I
show
know,
and I
I
was
saw
like,
this.
look at this work of art. It was beautiful. It was
Zero
like
veins.
it almost looked like it was done like a signature. Like the piss stream had like, you know how when you carve on a
Yeah, yeah,
snowboard,
yeah.
how it has like that spray?
That's
Yeah, it was pretty
awesome.
cool. One guy commented today, I didn't even have a chance. He's like, pretty childish, isn't it? And my reply to him is, hardly.
Oh my god.
Because it's a dick, you know?
Well,
Um,
some good news out of Calgary, I guess. Here, it looks like Red Arrow Motor Coach. It's doing their very first run from Banff to Calgary, and they have prices starting at like $15 one way.
yeah,
So if you're looking for a cheap bus to the city, and or back from the city, pretty sweet option, man. Red Arrow Motor Court.
Where does it go in the city?
I'm not too sure.
it's
It
got they
says,
got to have
the
like an
Calgary to
office or
Banff
something.
service operates with 3 trips a day, starting at $15 one way. And then redarrow.ca. Check them out. You can see where your stops are at, and That's pretty sweet, dude.
Lots of people in the town of Banff don't have vehicles, finding a hard time to make it to the city, especially in the winter. Batteries die, yada yada. $15 one way, pretty good. So some cheap transportation is back, which is some good news.
Especially if you go to the airport.
Yeah, no doubt.
Dude, that'd be well worth it.
Right? Take a little Uber once you get there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not
no
bad.
doubt. Well, this one's good. So it says Banff has no F's left to give. It's the Banff sign, and like somebody knocked over two of the F's. They're probably moving it again. They move this thing around town quite
100%.
frequently, but
Don't even give an F, bro.
don't even give an F, bro. I thought it was great. But this next one with
The next one is so good.
with the Christmas party season
Well
rolling
upon
around.
us.
Oh yeah, we got ours. What, next week? Next Tuesday.
I'm not gonna be there, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah,
Hope you
that's
guys have a
right.
great time, but
Yeah, so there will be no podcast for next week because I'm gonna be eating lobster. It's gonna be good.
yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
But yeah, so this one reads: work friends become become real friends after doing a line together at their office Christmas party. And then at the bottom says, "I always knew you were a good bloke," they told each other. It's just like, it rings too perfect,
It's so good,
especially for Banff.
Yeah,
It's
this
just-
is a super Banff meme. True friends are made at these staff Christmas parties. Yeah, sometimes.
Friends and business plans, I think.
Oh,
made
you're
at the
starting
Christmas
business.
Yeah.
Oh.
God, yeah. This one's good, though. Do you want to get this one, Jen?
Yeah, there's just a little topical meme about the sun going down early. It's the sun going, "I'm going to bed," and the person's like, "It's only 4:30." Is like, "Sorry, what? See you later." And it's like flipping off the person. We're getting into the shortest days of the year with the equinox. What, the 21st or
21st,
something?
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, get out there while the sun's out, man. That's
No
one thing I learned the other day. I kind of got lazy, didn't go for a walk until like maybe 1 or something until I left the house, and the sun
back
was
in
already
the dark,
behind the
yeah.
mountains. It's
Oh,
like, damn, like
No doubt.
wasted day.
Oh, God. Well, this one looks like somebody had a little stolen Santa Claus here.
Some reverse Christmas
So
cheer.
somebody knows the whereabouts of a 4-foot plastic Santa similar to this one. Please let me know. It was stolen from my front porch. This is every year. It's like, there's so much crap gets stolen.
If it's
every
not the
year.
pump and tap, it's like,
Is
yo,
there a cat in that bag?
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, it does.
I can see why they want it back.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. So bring it
Um,
back if you stole it, man. That's fucked up.
Dan, some good news. The CP holiday train is scheduled to be in Canmore. Looks like the 15th of December, 6 p.m. Also, we got, was there a couple more stops here, wasn't there? as
Yeah,
well?
so the original post, this dude posts on Community Connection all the time. I forget his name, but he posted this, just a reminder that it's rolling through on December 15th. It's going to be at Canmore 6:30. There's other times. If you're listening from Cochrane, it's rolling through at 3, Stony Nakota at 4:25, Canmore at 6. It's going to be in Banff at 7:15.
There you go.
Which, like, does that seem like an exceptionally long time?
Yeah.
it takes, I don't know, maybe it
Well,
rolls
because
slow.
it
Sit
stops
and
and
they do
they
a
do
show.
like a couple
Okay, yeah.
songs. Yeah.
It was
I
like
like how it's going to be dark at all those times, too.
100%.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 p.m.
Yeah,
It should be
pretty
dark,
close.
dude.
Should be pretty close.
Yeah, awesome. So if you're not in the Christmas cheer yet,
There you go.
get down there. That's one good way to do it. Me and Nat got in the Christmas cheer yesterday, actually. So we saw a post that the Banff Christmas market was being torn down.
Oh, yeah.
So normally we had this like really crappy fake tree that we just plugged in and had lights
Oh,
on it.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
like a little one, whatever. But this year we decided to go full out
You got a
and
real
go get
one.
a free one there because they were
Yeah.
throwing them out. They had a bunch stacked up.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, we went and got a real tree
Nice.
for free. So it was pretty awesome. And there was still some left this morning. So hey, if you want a little Charlotte Brown tree, go and get yourself one down.
My wife actually worked that. She was at that market. Loved
sick.
it. Had a lot of fun.
They sell out all the tickets every year, so
Oh,
it's
yeah,
crazy.
big
There's
time.
like
Well-
thousands of tickets sold every day.
She
Oh,
was
yeah.
a vendor there. She
Oh, crazy.
runs like Give Love Pet Confectionery.
Okay.
So, like it's
Cool.
dog and cat treats.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
She had a blast. Like
Right
she
on.
said it was really well run this year. Like I guess it's a new location. Right?
New location. I think they've
Yep.
done some change in ownership too. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. She said
but-
that like there was a crazy amount of people there.
yeah, it's
That's
always. And I think
it's
too.
always busy. It's always packed. The Christmas market's like famous out here.
100%.
I hope you're set up, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm out. Like
And I don't know how big of a crowd person I am these days, but yeah.
that would be one I'd go to.
Fair.
I didn't because I was like, oh, I'm kind of peopled out.
I
Kinda
got
people
I got a
there. I
leftover
hear you.
Christmas tree. Thank you, Banff Christmas
Yeah.
Market, for at least offering people to come get it. Like,
No doubt.
You're gonna throw out all these trees.
Usually
I thought it
they
was pretty
just
awesome.
toss them, but so that's pretty sweet. That
That's
you
what I
got
mean. Yeah.
free one.
One little thing I want to touch on: Canada Post strike still a thing.
No doubt.
Unfortunately, I saw a little stat that it's costing small business owners in Canada upwards of $76 million per day.
Wow.
Which sucks. I saw this real cool article about Japan when Japanese companies, I think it was the public transit people.
Buses.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
so they went on strike, but they still kept the facilities running. They still kept all the buses running, but they didn't accept any money.
Yeah, they just
Oh,
taking all payments.
Right.
and
I
they just
saw
keep
that.
going.
Yeah,
They just
so
let
the
people on the
only-
buses for free and shit. Yeah. That was
Exactly.
wild.
And the only person that suffers is truly like the employer.
Yeah. that's
Imagine if
awesome.
Canada Post was doing that, if the employees were still there doing their thing, and not accepting money for like that would be, they would have it resolved already.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you know
wild.
what I mean? Instead of costing small business owners 76 million a day, they would be like costing the government much, much more per day.
Yeah.
I thought that would be awesome.
Crazy, dude.
Anyways.
Crazy. Do you want to let our guests know about our holiday schedule, I guess, before
Yeah,
we go?
holiday schedule. This is our potential last one for the year. We'll see. We might squeeze something out between Christmas and New Year's or whatever.
We'll
But
see what's up.
our next guest episode is January 7th.
Nice.
We're not going to announce the guest yet. You'll have to wait.
Yeah. You got
Travis, thank you so much for coming to chat with us.
Thank you
Yeah, man,
guys
that
for
was
having
awesome.
me on.
Being our last one of the year, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, going out with a bang.
Yeah, going
Let's
out with a
go.
bang.
Right, the melon,
Going out
man.
with a bang.
I think that you two should just come out and try one of the classes. I think
Yeah,
that's
there we go.
I think that's part of it.
I was
And I
gonna-
think that we need a couple comments saying, "Come out and try it."
Hey, we
What
should
is it?
probably
3 comments? 3 comments? Enough?
Let us know in the comments
Four
below
likes?
if you 4 likes and we'll
I'll get video.
we'll go.
Well, honestly, once we have our mobile setup, we should go do one at.
Come on out.
Just go do an episode.
No
We'll
doubt.
come fight each other. Me and Matt will fight.
There we go.
Let's do it.
We'll fight each other.
To the
We'll do
death.
it for we'll do it for charity.
We'll do our
There
own
you go, there you go.
celebrity charity boxing. I
There
thought
you
that
go.
would be pretty cool. That's a
That'd be
great
sick.
idea, actually.
Okay.
Lots of fun.
I got the space.
There you go. Yeah.
We got the equipment. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. It's been a great year so far.
Okay. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to you.
and,
Well, I don't know. We might try and come out. I'm going out on holidays. I got another trip.
Yeah, you
booked.
got another trip planned up. So
Getting out of town for a bit. So we'll see.
we'll see what's up.
Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a subscribe if it's your first time watching. If you made it this far, God, thank you for tuning in.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Big time. Big
It's been
time. Thanks for
awesome. It's been
tuning in.
awesome so far. We got no plans to stop. We're going to keep coming out with episodes. We're still looking for sponsors. If anyone wants to sponsor the pod, yeah, give us a shout. Slide into them DMs.
Slide in.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Have a great happy holidays. And like every week,
See you next Tuesday.
see you next Tuesday in the next year.